What's up, everybody?
Hey.
We are live.
All right.
With Vintage House. I'm dancing and talking, but we've got Harry Dennis, DJ Solkat, Mr. Curtis McLain, and Meg in the house.
Hey, hey. It is another Wednesday night episode of your favorite talk show about the business and history of house music, Vintage House.
I like how Kevin adds, it's your favorite, because we know it's your favorite.
Okay.
That's right.
There you go.
Thanks for tuning in. What's up, Reginald Davenport?
Reggie.
Yeah.
Just gonna let people come into the room while we're enjoying Curtis McLain.
Oh yeah.
Music is where I want to be.
Should we all sing it together? Here we go.
Rock your body. Rock your body. Rock your body.
All right. Well, yes. I can never get enough of this song. I have to tell you, it really is the house music anthem. I don't care what anybody says. When you think about house music, this song always comes up for people.
That's right.
Yeah.
Put out.
What's up, Dean Bowie, Greg Winfield, Pedro? Thanks for tuning in. Hey, Mark. Yes. Anybody want to know? Tell them to listen to this song. It's when house music got elevated to a whole new level. This was the track. You know you have to agree with it.
It still is.
Yes. All right, we're going to get started. Check it out. All right, I'm going to take it down and ask you all to introduce yourselves one more time for our guests. I'll introduce you. We have Harry Dennis, who has been in the game for a long time. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you.
Producer extraordinaire. You do a lot of things. What? Well, I will get into what you're doing now, but let's just one sentence on what your claim to fame is. If someone had to say, what's Harry Dennis' claim to fame? Let our audience know.
Purpose.
Okay. That's his claim to fame. If they don't understand that, that's a real existential claim to fame. What's the more practical one? People know you as not a Mad Lib.
Nice guy.
Nice guy. Okay. What's up, Corky? All right, we'll come back to you. We have a lot. You've got a lot going on, but I'm going to save your intro after we get started with DJ Solkat. Now I say DJ Solkat, but do you just go by Solkat, or do you prefer to see people say DJ first?
You know what? Well, first of all, thank you guys for having us on your show. I appreciate it. I so enjoyed Vintage Radio.
It's an honor and a pleasure.
That's right.
Indeed. So at first I wanted it to be DJ Solkat, but then after a while I kind of just wanted to drop the DJ and just be Solkat.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it doesn't matter. It's cool.
Okay. Yeah. I think Solkat is cool. It's like Madonna. You don't need the preference. The pre-name. Just it stands on its own. It's cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you. Cool lady. And then you have the voice of house music, Mr. Curtis McLain.
Thank you for having me. You and Mega. My claim to fame, would be Move Your Body. But it was so funny because when Move Your Body came out, it came out as Marshall Jefferson. Nobody knew who Curtis McLain was.
That's right.
Until, the people knew when we did our live performances. That's what people knew. But people would still call me Marshall Jefferson because I sang the song.
That's
Even
right.
though I would introduce myself in my shows as my name is Curtis McLain, I could walk down the streets of New York and New Jersey and people be like, Marshall.
They call you Marshall Jefferson, huh?
They call me Marshall Jefferson because they associated the name with the voice. So,
yeah.
But like I say, people didn't really get to know who Curtis McLain was until I walked away from house music for like 20 years.
Okay.
Wow.
And then when I came back, a brother booked me, Chaz the Wicked and his wife, Kelly, booked me for a comeback show.
Okay.
And they had radio advertisements. They was like Curtis McLain singing his hits, Move Your Body, Ride the Rhythm, Pleasure Control, and all this sort of stuff, right?
Right.
And so people was like, wait a minute, I thought Marshall did all of that. And Donnie Depot was trying to tell me, said, no, I think Curtis McLain was the guy that sang the stuff. Marshall just wrote and produced it. So that put me out there that I was the actual vocalist of Move Your Body.
Okay.
So I guess that's my claim to fame.
And the rest is history.
What year was that around that you did that show, the comeback tour?
I want to say 2009 or 2010.
Wow.
So 2009, 2010. Like I say, I left on the brink of another European tour, which was like in '89.
Yes.
And there was so much stuff going on, you know, with people taking money from us that didn't belong to them. And I said, you know what, before I let somebody steal another dime from me, I would leave house music alone. And I did that, you know.
Did you go to another genre of music? Did you keep performing?
No,
just stopped altogether.
I vowed, Kevin, to never say gotta have house ever again in life.
Wow, that's deep.
Right. And I mean, I was so disenchanted with, you know, what was going on. You know, we never got royalties. We made good money doing our shows. But then you got people coming in leeching off of that, you know, and I'm like, you know what? And didn't have a contract with me and was taking my money, you know. So I'm like, you know what? Before I let him steal another dime from me, I will leave this alone. And I mean, I take that back, Kevin. I did. I did start doing other music, but I let Byron Stingley hear something I did, and he called Marshall up and he said, "Hey man, dude, doing R&B." I wrote a song called "She's the One." But when I wrote it, it was in a house form. But I went to the studio in Toledo, and the engineer, he was a Tom 84 fanatic. And he took my song, changed the bass sound that I had, and it really sounded popish. And he just took the house element out of it. But everybody was pleased with the outcome of it. But
you included?
Huh?
You included?
Yeah. I mean, it was, I like the horn arrangement, but I wanted to do a mix. I wanted to do it because he covered up my string arrangement. My string arrangement was cold-blooded in this cut. And he covered it up with all of these horns. And I said, well, wait a minute, man. Take the horns out for the original mix. And I said, we'll do a mix and call it the horny mix. I mean, it would have worked. It would have worked because the horns, you know, I mean, it sounded like Earth, Wind and Fire horns, the Phoenix horn section, you know. So he didn't do it. So, but when I let Byron hear it, he called Marshall. He said, man, he said, dude, doing R&B. And he was like, what? Marshall called. He said, yeah, man, Byron told me you doing R&B. I said, no, I said that wasn't R&B. I said that was just an R&B mix, but actually the cut was an actual house song when I wrote it, you know. So, and that was it, you know. And then, you know, I started doing 9-to-5 gigs, and I just kind of left the music business alone, you know.
I think that's a common story, you know. And I had the good fortune of talking to Mr. Lee Michaels recently, who was a program, you know, director for DMX and PI. And he was saying that, you know, it just happened. So many people, like in the 80s, who could have taken sort of that leap to the whole next level, where we saw house music go, just weren't able to do that for some reason.
Right.
And you know, I do want to talk about that. It's vintage house, and I think you and Harry were both sort of you know, at that crossroad. Right. And so let me pivot to Harry, because I think it would be great to talk about that era. But I want folks to know who you are, and as Kevin mentioned, it's vintage house, and we like to get to know our guests a little bit better. So you're from Chicago. You went to what neighborhood did you grow up in?
Well, I'm originally from the West Side.
Okay.
But then we moved Southwest, and I'm really Southwest. Around Cicero, La Crosse, and 47th Street.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Yep. I know that area very well. But you ended up going to Illinois State University. You're doing drama, songwriting. This is been your life for a long time.
Right.
So, and you were friends with Robert Williams, Frankie Knuckles.
Yeah.
How did you get introduced to this scene, sort of the house music culture, as we like to call it, pre-house music? What was your introduction? How that happened?
Okay, my introduction was back in the day. I went to I got a permissive transfer. I was supposed to go to a West Side school, Crane, Marshall, or Farragut, but I wound up going to Seeing up north. And up north, I had a bunch of friends, and all our friends, we started going to this place called the Den One.
Oh yeah.
And Robert Williams was at the Den One. That's where I met Rob. And Frankie Knuckles was spinning, at the Den One also at that time. Mm-hmm. So they was letting us in at early age of 16 and all that. So I got to know different music, besides that radio stuff they was playing. And mm-hmm. I got real interested in it, And then from there I went to Illinois State, but I had the music in me. And when I came back, that's when I read to my old buddy Ron Hardy at the Music Box.
How's he your old buddy? How'd you know Ron Hardy?
Well, I met Ron through this guy named Marvin, but I call him my old buddy because I really met Ron. I loaned Ron some money back in the day, right? and then Ron was giving me tapes and all that stuff, Mm-hmm. And then one day when Chippy had came out with Time to Jack and This House and all that, mm-hmm. and I asked Ron, man, how is Frankie getting all these sounds? And because Frankie Knuckles had came out with Jamie Principles, so how did Frankie get all these sounds? So me and Ron wound up going over Frankie Knuckles' house, and Frankie told us the 707 drum machine. And from there, me and Ron got a loan from my mother, $500 to go get the 707 drum machine. And when we went to get it, Donnie the Beat was already on the drum machine. So we just used that beat, and Ron made sensation with the drum machine. But we got the money back from my mom. We paid her back, and that was the start of that's how I got into it, And then come to find out in later years that Robert Williams is really a fraternity brother of mine. He's a Sigma. And I mean, it's like I've been knowing him all my life now, Wow.
So, that's great. Pedro said you owe him some money.
I probably do.
That's a problem with coming on the show, boy. Your people come after you,
Yeah, they come out to collect.
You can't hide when you come on Vintage House. That's right. They come after you. Hey, there's a bunch of people owe me money too. I just, I feel like it's a gift after a while. It's like
okay. I can't say.
So listen, Harry, you actually produced some pretty major tracks. You were working with Track Records. Talk a little bit about sort of that transition into becoming the producer that you became, with working with really, big names.
Okay, so we started off. Well, I met Robert Owens at the Music Box, and Robert had this cut, Mysteries of Love, that he was, that he had for Larry, and me and him started talking, and I asked him to do Donnie for me with Chip, with Chip E. And we went over Chip, and we did Donnie.
Can I ask how you met? How did you connect with Chip E?
I met Chip E with this guy named Marvin, who introduced me to Ron, who introduced me to Chip.
All right, Marvin was a master connector here.
Yeah, Marvin was a master connector. And Marvin had that record Sensation that Ron had did. It's a sensation, but he just had the cold beat at first. He had that. And Ron gypped Marvin out of that beat. And he gypped him out of it, and he did that with Tracks.
Tracks Records, yeah.
But I started off with DJ International. And when I started off, me, Robert, and Larry came to DJ International, and we had Donnie and Mr. The Love that we had brought them. But they focused on JM Silk and Chip E at the time. You know, they didn't know that we was in this for the long haul. You know, me and Rob and Larry, we got over 500 songs maybe, you know. But they had no idea that we was in this for the long run. You know, it's like they was playing us. And I wind up going to Tracks. That's why I met Marshall and Kurt, you know, and Larry and Rob came with me. And we did a few things over there with Tracks.
That's great. And one of the songs that you are, tell me what you think you're most well known for. So when Mr. McLain walks down the street, they know him by Move Your Body, and they even call him Marshall. What do people know you most for, and what are you most proud of?
I don't know if it's Donnie. I don't know if it's Time Marches On. I don't know if it's The Jungle. I don't know if it's Distant Planet. I just try to do them all whenever I perform, you know.
Right.
But Donnie got me into the game, so I would say that Donnie is the most, you know, the most prevalent out of all of them.
Well, now wait, can I interject for a minute, because we did a show at the House of Blues, and Harry said, "Okay, man, I want to perform." And so he was talking about all the stuff that he wanted to do. And I said, "Well, man, what about Donnie, man?" I said, "I don't want to do Donnie." I said, "Man, you got to do Donnie, man." Donnie got the biggest response. Now, Harry's talking about back in the day with Ron and Frankie and all of them. Now, before I came into house music, I had no idea what house music was. Well, my cousin used to hang with Frankie Knuckles. And it was 2 songs. My cousin used to get tapes from Frankie Knuckles of his sets for that night. And I was telling him, when you bring me these cassettes, 2 songs has to be on these cassettes. And one song was Your Love by Jamie Principle, and Donnie by Harry and It. And those were the 2 songs that introduced me to house music.
Yes.
I can't really remember because we actually recorded movie. I can't remember if we had already cut that while this was going on, because Move Your Body circulated on a cassette tape for like 7 or 8 months before we actually had it pressed up, you know? Yeah. So it's kind of hard for me to remember if we had actually went in the studio, because when we went in the studio, I totally forgot that we had actually went in the studio and recorded a song, because it was just,
that's what when Move Your Body came out, they just knocked us all out. We was all competing at one time, you know, we was competing for who was the best. And then Move Your Body came out, just knocked us all out the water.
Well, in terms of classics, house classics, though, there's plenty of room for all of this, all that you guys are doing. And
I mean, we just contributed. That's it. We just brought in our contributions, and it strengthened what was already a contribution.
Hell of a contribution indeed. Hey, I gotta ask, Harry, how did you guys come up with the name The It, and what did that represent?
Well, I was thinking about the Who, so I said, "Well, let me be the It."
No way.
We said, it was like the It is the shit. So that was, since it was me at the time, like I said, it was Chippy,
right,
Ron Hardy, Robin Owens, Larry Heard, and me. And
Larry Heard, you got to come on the show.
Yeah.
I've reached out to him a couple times.
So have I, Lori. I don't know why.
Come on, Larry.
Hiding.
We got to get you in here.
I'll call him up one day and
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. He's got next. That's
okay.
what we got a segment always. Who's got next? So Larry Heard, you got next.
Hey, Harry. So Byron Stingley said pleasure control. Hey, Byron.
Yeah.
They know you for pleasure control.
That's Byron.
That's Byron. That's great.
Yeah, tell them about you got the pleasure control.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
So that's the crazy part about it. When we recorded Pleasure Control, we recorded Move Your Body first, and a lot of people, Pleasure Control got caught up in the shuffle because of Move Your Body overshadowed everything. But when we recorded Pleasure Control was actually bigger than Move Your Body.
Yeah, it was.
A lot of people realize that it was bigger. We did a show in Canada and we did a show in the UK, and we did a Radio 1 interview over there. And we was at the round table, and the DJ was like, "Okay, everybody introduce themselves." So it was like 3 or 4 people before me and Marshall. So Marshall Jefferson, right? Nobody stopped and said, "Oh, wait a minute, the house music anthem." When it got to me and I said Curtis McLain, they said, Pleasure Control. I said, "You all got that over here?" He said, "Oh, that's a big hit over here." And so I'm like, wow. So the going around the table stopped. He did like a little mini interview with me. He was like, "Well, Curtis, how did you come up with that song?" I said, "Well, Marshall wrote it." You know, he said, "Well, how did Marshall come up with it?" He said, "Man," he said, "me and Dude would hang out. Say we would go to restaurants like, you know," and said we'd walk in. He said, "I would walk in first, and the young ladies would be like, what do you want?" He said, "Dude would walk through the door and they run into the register talking about, 'Can I help you?' You know." And so I'm like, I said, "Wow." I said, "Well, thank you, Jason." I said, "I didn't know I was inspiration for that, but that's how he came about writing Pleasure Control." But Pleasure Control was actually bigger than Move Your Body when Pleasure Control came.
When you say that, what does that mean it was bigger? Did you sell more records? Did you get more requests for concerts? Tell me what that means.
It was and I've talked with people like my boy Boo Williams. A lot of people was like, Move Your Body was all right, but Pleasure Control was the cut. And it was like we did a show in Canada, and it was like we did an in-store. DJs playing Move Your Body, of course. Pleasure Control came on. Like, huh? And that version that's out is the demo version.
Okay. That's
the demo version. You listen to the silly stuff that I'm saying, Baby Please,
That's what made it good.
The era of Eddie Murphy, and I was mimicking Eddie Murphy in the studio.
Yes.
And Marshall don't discard any vocal that you'll do. He'll keep every vocal that you do.
All right.
And he put that stuff. I'm like, man, what are you doing, man? And I'm like, but it was, I'm never gonna let you go.
So do you think it's still this test of time? I mean, when I think about Move Your Body, and it could be because it was unique and you talk and it's got that house music anthem line in there. Yeah. But it seems like that was more commercially accessible to folks. I mean, what Leonard chimed in here and said, but Pleasure Control was better musically. I mean, tell me why it was perceived better then, but it doesn't feel like it stood the test of time, and just in terms of a more sort of commercial sense.
Well, now that was the thing. Move Your Body was, like you say, it was commercialized. So it reached everybody. Pleasure Control, it's like you had to either be in the club, because it didn't get a lot of radio airplay. So you had to be a clubber to hear Pleasure Control. And the DJs was playing Pleasure Control. And Move Your Body, you heard Move Your Body brand through the speakers on your radios and stuff like that. Pleasure Control never really got that type of airplay.
Mm-hmm.
It was that.
Yeah, I wonder what Solkat. What's your perspective?
I was just going to ask.
See, we're so in sync, Lori.
Yes.
Your
did you
perspective on
you ever heard? Did you hear that? I mean, now let's give Solkat a little intro because she started spinning in 2007.
Yes.
Right, but I know your house music history goes back a little further. So was there a bridge? Were you around when Move Your Body was out? Were you still like?
But
you were what?
I was in my diapers then.
That's right.
She was still in the womb.
Right. I was just right. Move Your Body was the first song, like one of the, I heard that way before Pleasure Control. I didn't know about Pleasure Control until I started hanging out with Curtis, and I saw him at a performance, and I was like, "What are you doing?" So yeah, that's how I found out about Pleasure Control. But Move Your Body to me gave me life. That was it. You gotta have house. That little that punch.
It. Yeah, So
you're
hooked.
I was hooked. Yeah.
So listen. What we want to talk about, this is fascinating, and I want to hear more about production and sort of how we move through that era. But before we get there, or while we get there, it would be really great to talk about your friendship. So when I asked Solkat to come on the show, I was like, feel free to bring your friends. If you want to bring, Curtis back, that would be cool. And she's like, yeah, why don't we bring Harry Dennis? I was like, oh, really cool. So you have these great friendships. Talk about it.
So, okay, first of all, if anybody was tell me that I was going to be hanging out with Dennis McLain and Harry Dennis like 10 some odd years ago, I'd have been like, yeah, right. Like you're joking. Because, man, I mean, here it is. I mean, I admire these two. I mean, I was a kid. I couldn't get into these clubs, the playground and warehouse and stuff. I don't know nothing about that stuff. So, so this is a huge honor and stuff to be around them and hang out with them. So yeah, I want to say I met Curtis through was it Jerry?
No.
No. What I meet you at, Curtis?
Through Mario.
Okay. So I met him. So I met Curtis through Mario Durham. He's a promoter. And so they were friends, so we all just started hanging out, and then Harry came along, chilling. So Curtis was like, "Yo, this is Harry, the It, and Time Marches On." I'm like, "Yo, that's the guy from Time Marches On. That's one of my favorite songs." So yeah, since then that's the little clip right there.
You've been clicking now.
From each other.
Right. We were neighbors, right. So that helped.
Okay.
Okay, that helped too.
That's
right.
There.
Okay, ride and die.
Okay.
Right. People couldn't understand how me and Curtis they would see us together hanging out, and so I'm like, yo, when I'm going out to these events, I'm down with the buddy system. I bring Curtis, and then plus, I mean, house music events, bring. So that's what.
And I needed to get out the house, so I told her, "Hey, let you go out. Hey, hit me up, because I'm ready to roll out."
Right. So I just like, "Hey, come roll with me." Right. They know you up in here, so yeah.
That's what neighborhood you guys in roughly? You don't have to tell me your address.
Inglewood.
Hey, yo.
Say that again.
Temporary. What you say, Lori?
I didn't hear what you said.
I said Inglewood.
Right.
And you said
Inglewood. I was born in Inglewood.
Right. I grew up in Chatham.
Chatham. Okay.
Yeah, Chatham represent.
Chatham is great. I have fantasies of buying my childhood house on 65th and Sangamon and doing one of those shows, like where we like bring it back to like my memory of my 6-year-old self in Inglewood.
Right.
That was a beautiful neighborhood back then.
Okay.
I'm gonna speak that positivity out there for you, Lori. I hope that happens.
Right.
Oh man, absolutely. So one of the things we talked about not last week, but the week before, was about legendary DJs and in this case musicians and promoters. Have they done enough to elevate younger talent? What are your thoughts on that, Harry? Let's start with you.
The DJs, they're elevating younger talent. Louis Vega, he's doing it. The Chosen Few DJs, they're doing it, and you're doing it too. So I mean, Solkat, whenever young artists get into it, and they got a style, we usually notice them.
Mm-hmm.
I try to keep it with everybody, everything that's going on, so I can also see all the young talents, and and I try to play their music as much as I can, because I myself, the old stuff is cool, but me as being an artist, I'm gonna paint a different picture every year, every day. I got something else to do, and listening to young people and listen to other music and listen to other ventures, it inspires me.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me a better writer, which I love. So
that's right. Who are you working with? Are there any young artists that you're working with now that you want to give a shout out to?
Well, I work with so many. I got so many stuff. I got Club. Well, I'm with Club Chill Records at this moment. Ian Snowball. Me and Marshall did the Jungle Ones again, and we did this cut called Human Condition, which is a real hot cut. Me and Ron Trent. We continuously doing stuff. We got Black Magic Woman that Joe Claussell has been doing this thing with,
Nice.
And that Monterey tune, and then me and Larry Heard, we did Crying and Somebody Somewhere, and I'm on iRobots with Donnie, but they don't call it Donnie. They call it the Logic something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the last one, Black Science. I'm doing some with Black Science Orchestra. That's Beetle and Ray Theo and Ian Snowball and Terry Farley. So I got a pretty big plate.
Yeah, are you getting any sleep over there, Harry?
Exactly.
Some of the stuff I kind of forget,
No, that's awesome.
Yeah,
it's an awesome collective that you're working through there. So I was just gonna ask of that work that you're doing. You've got that nostalgic element that you seem to continue to bring to some of the new songs. So you're mixing old and new. What do you think of that from an approach? Is that
that's just about right.
Okay. That's just about right.
That's what you like to do. That's what I sense.
Right. I'm mixing the old with the new, and it's working out.
So
Okay.
I want to
Nice formula.
I want to get into the live performance, and I know that in 2016 you performed at the Chosen Few picnic. Is that correct?
Yeah.
One of those years, and so
it was 16. 50, me and Kurt did 15, and then we did 16.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a huge audience, and I know that we haven't been able to do that this year. Everybody's sidelined. How has COVID? How has COVID affected what you're doing, Harry? And then I want to hear the same from you guys, Mr. McLain and Solkat.
Well, COVID, I haven't been stifled by COVID. I still been, doing music. I still been sending my lyrics out, still getting music to put lyrics behind. And the only thing it did, I'm working in McCormick Place, and so we'll be out in McCormick Place till probably 2022. But that's about the only thing. Well, I've seen a lot of people die too.
Have you experienced a lot of death?
Yeah, I know about 10 people that died.
Why aren't people taking this serious? What's going on?
Well, some people are getting fake, false information about the stuff that's in the vaccine, and then you got some religious people who they might feel like it's the end of days and they ain't gonna take it because everybody else taking it. So it's so many different. That's what makes us human, though. Everybody got their own little thing, but I wish 80% of people would take it so we could get back to normal.
Yeah, let me ask. I want to put everybody on the spot, and then I promise we'll get back to house music. But I think this is an important topic. Will you take the COVID-19 vaccine?
Of course.
I'm taking it. So I'm telling my friends and family that as soon as I can, I'm taking the vaccine.
There you go.
So what about you guys? And I think we can be honest. If you have fears, I got friends who are like, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna see, if everything pans out. But
I mean, about the side effects, Lori. So I'm gonna wait and see because you've
heard about the side effects so far,
right? And they say the side effects, but like I say, they put out what they want you to believe. So, but like I say, but you put a doubt in my mind, I'm gonna be like, okay, let me wait to see what happens. So, and they say the effects, the side effects, they it's forever. You don't get rid of the side effect. But
I haven't heard that. I've
heard that about COVID.
Out there. So it's like when you don't get something concrete with me, then I'm like, okay. Yeah. I have heard something consistent about this vaccine. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I'll just wait to see.
All right. So my commercial is this. I saw this on Twitter and it made me shudder. It was like, this is for real, because having a ventilator and being in the hospital, people gonna wish they took that vaccine.
There you go.
Well, I mean,
they're gonna wish. I'm not wishing that on anybody here. I'm not wishing that on anybody here, and I'm not wishing that on myself. I'm not wishing that on anybody watching today. But what I'm saying is, we all know people who have died. People in my family have died.
Yep.
They've been put on vents, the whole nine. We talked to a lot of folks, and it's just like, it's probably worth doing some more research about before we say no. I'll just say that. I won't push it too much.
That's what I'm saying. Right.
Well, I'm sure just like when the flu came out, everybody needs to take a shot, but people get afraid to take a shot because some people say they get sick. Some people's bodies can't take different stuff. So, but I take flu shots. I take anything that I know that, even for shingles, because I had shingles once. So I'll take a shingle shot. I take a pneumonia shot. Yeah. I had it all. And trust me, if you get the flu at your age 40, you feel like you're going to die. That's really what you feel like, you're going to die. So right. A lot of people want to take the shot, but if they get the flu, hey, they'll take it then maybe.
Right. So the vaccination game is a little more complex though as well, because you have the different pharmaceutical firms manufacturing based on their science, right? I mean, science is science, but each pharmaceutical firm has, a different approach to how they're solving for it. And so you do, to your point, Lori, the call out is important. Do a little research.
Right.
But the opportunity to protect yourself from mask wearing to hand washing to vaccines, everything you need to do to protect yourself is important.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Solkat, you want to add something there?
Yeah, just hey, Solkat, read
Yes.
up. That's all you gotta do. That's all we gotta do. Read up on all the vaccines that's coming out, and just the one that's best for you. You know, because like you said, Kev, a lot of them got different stuff in it. You know, so
That's what
you need to read up.
Well, we go ahead, honey. Do you want to say something, Solkat?
No, I was just saying, like what Harry was saying about the different stuff that they have in the vaccine. That's what kind of, made me concerned. What are you injecting inside of me? However, like Curtis said, I'll wait and see, and then I'll eventually get it, because I'll probably have no choice there, cracking down, people, at the airports, you can't travel without.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's a scary time. I mean, I get the flu shot every year, and even I was like hesitant, like, oh, they kind of rushed this, and I don't know. But
Right.
I don't know. After seeing people on those machines,
Yeah.
and these skyrocketing deaths, and it's not just. I have a friend who's a doctor, and she was like, this idea that it's just old people is just totally wrong.
Yeah.
She's like, I'd be in the hospital. And they bring in a 30-some-year-old healthy dude who's okay 1 minute and then his heart bottoms out and he's dead. Like she's seeing that on a daily basis, every single day. And so I've heard enough horror stories to make me like feel very hopeful, that we could stop this. We could really stop
right.
it.
Yeah.
And we have to.
We got to. Life is too precious.
You're right.
So, all right. So let's get back to let's get back to music. So I want to talk about festivals because I was talking about you the other day, Solkat, that you've done such a remarkable thing, and I believe I was telling the truth when I said you have created the largest female DJ only music festival, house music festival in the city.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yep.
Am I right? Because I can't think of any others.
Yeah.
Right.
Clap it up.
Yeah.
You got to own it.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's so humble.
She is so humble, but it's an amazing accomplishment. And
Thank you.
I know we've had this conversation before, but for the record, would love to hear just a couple minutes on why you started it, when you started it, and what you're trying to accomplish.
Okay. So I started in DJing in 07. And so after attending other, house music events through with my boy DJ Murphy, I just noticed that it was predominantly all men, and so I kept asking him, even back in 07, I was like, hey, I said, when are they gonna do an all-female picnic, And he was just like, I don't know. He just kept shrugging his shoulders, and he said something. He mentioned something about something with some DJs, some female DJs back in the day. They've done something, and it didn't. I guess it didn't pan out or something, whatever. And it's like people just gave up. It was like, okay, well that's it. With that. And so here it is. Some odd years later, I've been asking for since 07, 08, 010. I said, look, we got to do this, because when I would go to these house music events, I would see a female DJ, but it would just be one, or she would go on first,
Right.
Or I noticed the music be kind of tweaked down a little low when she played, and when the male DJ get on, extra bumped up, so or she don't get the time. So I was like, I said, I don't get it, because these sisters are like wailing on these tables. They need to be out there.
Right.
So well, look, because I noticed it was like, it's like I noticed when I came out, I seen Queen Bee and DJ Alicia and Miss Nikki and stuff. It's like like a lot of these new female house DJs I've never seen before or met. So so I told Joey Jazz, I said, look, help me get something started. I'm just gonna get get a little small little group of DJs, female DJs. We're gonna find a little park and we just gonna throw something. Just we gonna do it. And 2015 Saturday, August 1st, Calumet Park. We did it. Joy was like, "Hey, I got the DJs." I'm like, "What do you mean you got the DJs?" I thought I was going to get the DJs. So he got First Lady Erica Kane, Celeste Alexander, and Miss Lori Branch. And I'm like, who are these ladies? You know, and I'm so sorry, I've never heard of you guys. And I said, who are they? And he said, well, they're the original DJs from back in the day, from the 80s, and they need to get their shine. They need to get their turn. I said, well, okay, let's do it. You know, I want to pay homage to the female DJs before me. I think that was good. So by all means, let them get their shine. And the rest is history. We've been going on strong for what would have been this year. I want to say 6 years. This would have been the sixth. Yeah, this would have been the sixth one. And yeah. So
what would you estimate the attendance was at the one in 2019?
Wow, I want to say anywhere between 1,200 maybe, or a little bit more.
I thought it was more than that. I was like, there's at least a couple thousand people here. I'm good at counting.
Yeah, you count good. Yeah, it gets a little swole, you know, by the time later on through the day. So it's growing. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit intimidating because I like my little small, tight knit, little intimate spot over there. But people have been telling me like, hey, you may need to move to another location, a bigger one. I was like, nah. So,
just let them be packed in for a while.
So yeah, it was a good turnout. I've been getting good reviews. So yeah, I'm enjoying it.
So hopefully we are back in the saddle for 2021. And if that's the case, who do you want to feature?
Okay. So who do I want to feature?
Besides yourself.
Besides myself.
Because you got to spend at all your own parties. That's a rule.
I know. And that's another thing, Lori. I was trying to get off the lineup. Like,
no, you can't do that.
No.
Yes, ma'am.
Sharila T.
We would not allow that.
You are the bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Patricia Sketta Jackson.
What'd you say on the
No,
Patricia said it was awesome.
Patricia and Serene. We got fans on tonight.
Yeah.
You guys. Yeah. It was First Lady that dragged me and told me to get my butt right back in that lineup. Because I said, okay, I'm gonna play for so long, and then I'm gonna let the other ladies do their thing. I'm just gonna fall back and work in the background. And so First Lady and Lady Alicia was like, no, you're gonna stay on that lineup and you're gonna like it because you're DJ. So look at Jackie. She said, you ain't going nowhere.
Right. You're not going nowhere. No, you gotta always be on your own lineup, you know?
Right. So
Chip said he wants you to increase your territory.
I will most definitely do that.
He's doing the prayer of Jabaz for you. Increase your territory.
Yeah. Feature. I was going to feature this DJ Jackie Martinez, I believe her name is. And,
okay.
So that's the thing. I try to put out there like new DJs and up and coming, you know.
Yes.
What's up, Erica? Yeah, I had to put her out there. Yeah. So I want in different north side, east side, west side. I wanted to try to get Krista Scrub. You know, she's from Detroit. You know, so I'll try to bring everybody in.
There's so many great DJs that are Chicago. Leonard said get Deb from Atlanta. She's great. I mean, there's so many.
Yeah, I was trying to get remix. Yeah, I was trying to get Deb on. So I'm gonna try that out again. So
yeah, I'll give a shout out to a couple to consider. You know, me and DJ Lady D have been working with one of our newer friends. She goes by name Vita Girl, and she does a show on WNUR. She's awesome.
Okay.
The Good Girls.
Yeah, Good Girls. That's Lady D's crew that we have joined. I don't know if we're members or we're just crashers, but anyway. And then there's so many. Like, I would love to like send you a few names for people to consider. One of my favorites from back in the day is DJ Gloria. She is the bomb, and people don't know DJ Gloria because she doesn't come out as much as she used to. But she used to tear the turntables up. So she appeals to a huge audience too.
Yeah, see, that's what I want too. I also want the old school DJs from back in the day. Like, yeah, what DJ Drea said, so many. I mean, because
Drea's on next week.
Oh, she was okay.
DJ Lady D, Good Girls.
Right there.
I said we crashed the club, Lady D. I don't know if you invited me. I'm calling myself a girl.
Who was it? DJ Heather, and I think Steve Hurley has a sister. So it's like I'm trying to get you and Celeste and them to get the old school DJs out of retirement.
There weren't that many. You could count us on like one hand if you talk about the early 80s. It was like 5, So I think you would have had everybody. Angie Hurley, I don't know if she's still spinning, but
Lori, you did hear the reference. She put you in the old school category.
I've heard this, but you know what? I wear it like a badge of honor.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, you call me old school all day long. Just don't call me red.
I didn't mean to say old school.
No.
I got a T-shirt that says old school. I'm okay.
I meant veteran. Sorry, veteran DJs. My veteran.
I don't know if I like that any better, but okay. You can call me anything you want. Just don't call me late for dinner.
Okay.
I am okay. Linda Red, what's up, girlfriend? She said, "Lady DJs rock."
They do, Linda. Yes, they do.
That's right.
Linda Red, you rock.
Well, you know what I love most about it is that when I was there in 2019, everyone just was so happy. Like, we think house music is happy. Think about house music parties where all ladies are spinning, because ladies spin happy music.
Oh yeah.
We can bang it out, and we do bang it out. We like to bang our heads a little bit, but it's just a different vibe.
Yeah.
What do you think who are watching? Are lady DJs different than guy DJs? Like, I'd love to hear your opinions on this. What do you think, Solkat?
I want to say yes. And I've heard a few men comment on that. They say how, by us being women, we give off a different energy. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So, like, yeah, it's the love and the nurturing come from the woman. So we get up there and we playing them tunes. They're feeling our energy. That female energy. So yeah, I want to say it's different. In a good way.
Let's see what people say. I think Leonard says he likes the lack of egos.
That's
and you know who else just said that? JC just said that. So what is having no ego or lack of, or minimized ego? We got a little bit of egos, but I agree it's a little bit less. How does that contribute to, like?
Which is it, Lori? Is it less? Is it more? Is it less?
It's definitely not more. And that's just because women don't need it. We don't, we don't have to be stroked as much. You know what I'm saying? All right. So, and Eric says, absolutely less formulaic, more organic. I really like that, Eric. And
Wow,
Reggie is saying that it's smooth, sensual energy and vibes. I love it.
Reggie's on next week too with DJ Drea and another special guest.
All right. Well, that's cool.
You know what I want to see? I want to see more female DJs doing music.
Yes.
Producing.
I'm going to be doing music.
Yeah.
That's my retirement plan.
Okay.
It's okay.
I definitely want to get into production. I was going to low key just slip a tune out there and see what everybody thinks. So
yeah.
People are doing it.
Yeah.
You're hanging with the right crowd there.
Hey, Lori, whenever you do yours, Lori, let me know. I'm in on it.
I'm gonna come visit you. Hey, we about to do this.
Okay.
I am totally serious. I got 10 songs in my head at any given time. I'm like, I just got to get these down.
There you go.
Right. That's right.
For real. So, okay, well, a couple more comments. Let's see. We just played the music. Mimi. That's right. Mimi Hughes. She's played the music and feel good.
Hey, my Harry sister.
You got to come over and show
Yeah, be me.
because she had the place on 39th rocking. That is a nice club. Truth.
Oh yeah, yeah.
All right, and Reggie, how about lady record label owners?
Yeah.
There you go.
They do exist. I could pull out the history books on that one, but I think one of the most major record labels in Chicago was owned by a woman, and that was called, help me out, people, historians.
What,
Vivian
Val
Carter.
Haley?
Her name is Vivian Carter. So y'all know what I'm talking about.
Was this on the west side?
Yeah, I don't know where they were located. I'm trying to think of the name. Come on, people who are watching Vivian Carter and her husband, and they had a record label.
VJ Records.
VJ Records. See?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, history lesson. All right, one more comment. Dan says we need more lady love on the decks. I personally feel that too many ladies don't get the love at events. Also, we need more lady love producing. We just don't see it enough. I
think
agree.
we could do a whole
Dan
show on
Shiver.
this, Lori.
Yeah.
Thank you for that comment. All right, so I a little surprised. I'll just let the cat out of the bag for 2001. We'll have some lady producers. I'm not going to tell you who they are, but internationally known lady producers will be on this show.
There
So
you go.
you guys stay tuned for that.
2021, a new era.
It's a new era. I can't wait for this year to be done. I really can't. It's been a hellish year.
Get it over with.
So let's talk
year of the
about moving
asterisk.
forward. Okay, so we know Queens of House is on for 2021. Mr. Dennis, what do you have in store for us?
What do I have in store? Okay, I forget this. Lloyd Deb. You remember Lloyd Deb from WKKC?
Yep.
So, okay, we did this thing. It's called Passing Runner. And it's coming from London on Club Chill Records also. And it's featuring me. I mean, Lloyd Deb featuring me and the CCR All-Stars. The CCR All-Stars have to be Nikki Underwood and Terry Spencer Hopkins. And in the Passing Runners, we got two versions. We got the house version and we have the smooth jazz version. And the smooth jazz version is like WNUA style, and like I say, I got tons of stuff coming out with Ron, and me and Larry still doing some. Me and Joe Clussell be doing something. So the opportunities just keep on coming. So that's all I plan on doing. Just keep on.
Good.
Yeah.
Just keep doing it. You make amazing music, Harry. I'm so glad and blessed that you came on to share a little bit with us. I feel like we just touched. We always do this. We just sort of touch
the surface.
The surface. So we got to do more.
You and Kevin invited me and Solkat. I appreciate this. I barely get out often. Like I used to when I used to be a womanizer, but now I'm just
okay. So that's a whole another show.
Oh.
Our house music producers and DJs, womanizers.
Yeah.
Should we start a fight right now, or should we save that for another day?
I would say that for another day.
It is a really great calling card. I have to tell you, I think most DJs will tell you, you can get what you want. Am I right, Solkat?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, she said that. She's like, yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right, back to 2021. What you guys doing, Solkat, Mr. McLain? What's going on? What are you going to bring us?
Oh, 2021.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2021. Wishing, hoping for the best for Queens of Houseport. I guess that would be. I guess we'll skip 6 and go to 7. I don't know how that worked, but I guess I don't know if it count. But yeah, the picnic, the house, and producing.
Producing. Are you going to do any summer events? So you did a couple at that was a lot of fun at the Daily Plaza. Will you be doing those again?
Right. So yeah, we're going to be doing a Daily Plaza again, and just try to, work Chicago where we can to, get ourselves out there. Queens of House, sprinkling, everywhere, so where we can make it. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Mr. McLain, what about you, sir?
Looking forward.
Writing music. I've always been a writer, but it's just I never had that motivation. I'm very critical about stuff that I do.
I hear you.
And I'm working on new music that I'm pretty comfortable with, and I want to work with other producers, but right now I want to let people see my style.
That's right.
Creating music, because it's hard for me to interpret.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not one of those kind of vocalists that I can interpret anybody that makes me a track. It has to be something that I feel. So it's like when I'm sitting and I'm creating, I get into a mode where it's like, okay, I'm comfortable with how this is going. And then once I get all that done, then I'm going to start bringing in people to work with me to finish these songs that I got. I got a lot of stuff in the can.
Nice.
And it's decent stuff. And I was just telling somebody, it's not the thing that I'm focusing so much on house music. I'm focusing in on writing songs and do the house thing on it. You know what I'm saying? I just want to write songs, so. And if they house, they house. But if they pop, they pop, so. I was talking with a brother, I'm not going to mention his name, but he's telling me, Curtis, he said, hey, man, he said, don't just limit yourself to house music, and I'm not trying to do that,
Right.
So
that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, listen,
really, right.
I just want to say, I want to say thank you. Can you guys hear my song playing in the background?
Nice segue, Lori.
Yeah. Time marches on.
There you go.
2021. This should have been like a New Year's Eve show.
That's right, people. All right, listen. I want to thank all of you for watching. Thank you so much for your comments and your candor. And hey, Jesse Saunders. Hey, Linda Red, Adria. Thank you guys so much for watching. Annette, I am going to be back in a couple of weeks. I think that's going to be the last show of the year. So we got to make it a good one. The day before New Year's Eve. And time does march on. Hey, Chip. And thank you, Curtis. Thank you, Harry.
Thank you, Lori.
Thank you, Kevin, McPaul, You guys have a great, blessed week, and we will see you the next time.
23rd, we've got Drea, Reggie Hall, and Reggie Davenport.
That's right.
Next week, 9 o'clock.
That's right. Bye, everybody. Signing out.